Hey, good to see you. See, David here. Get my headset set up. All right, awesome. It's good to see you guys. We are streaming live, talking about a really, really important topic right now. Listings. We're already starting to see the challenges out there in the market as more and more sellers are starting to say, "Hey, we don't want to pay. We don't want to pay another agent to show our property." We're seeing this already, and it hasn't even started yet. Technically, it doesn't start technically officially, right, until July on the MLS, but we're already starting to see it now. So I'm going to share with you today some strategies on how to get out there and start taking listings, which is why I'm excited and literally am restarting a brokerage while many agents are leaving the industry. I'm actually starting a brokerage. I'm going back. Think about that. Other people running away. I'm running to it. So we're excited. We are going to be we're doing a live webinar. We need to, hold on one second. I'm going to get this started. We're just going to wait for some more people to filter in. So thanks for joining us. There is actually a link too, if you use the StreamYard link, you can actually join us in the conversation. You're welcome to do that. So I'm going to drop a link. Hold on a second. Hang with me. Let's see. StreamYard. Perfect. I'm going to drop this. We're also on Clubhouse. Hopefully you guys can hear me. If you can hear me on Clubhouse, give me a sign, raise your hand, or just raise your hand to come up, or just, I don't know if you can make like, at least the nice thing about Twitter is you can make like emoji signs, but on Clubhouse, you really have no idea unless the person comes up to the stage. So come up to the stage. We're just getting started. So appreciate you coming in. Let me just get started here. Let me drop that link if you want to join us in the StreamYard. I just dropped the link on the StreamYard. And let me figure out how to get this room out for everybody. Replays. Let's see. Show captions. Appreciate you guys hanging with me in here. Replays are off. Background, audio quality, search, show captions. All right. I think this is a live room on Clubhouse. So I think we got a live room going on Clubhouse. And I haven't done Clubhouse in a while. And also we have, we're live on YouTube, we're live on X, and we're live on a Facebook group. We have a Facebook group, and today's focus is seller listings. Appreciate you being here with us today. If you're on the app or on Twitter or YouTube, I'm going to drop a link here in the comments where if somebody wants to come in and ask questions and get involved in the conversation, I am super cool with that. So feel free if you'd like to come in and ask some questions, or you can just drop your questions if you want. You can drop them into the chat in the comments, and I'll keep my eyes on the comments as well. How's that sound? All right, good. Let's see. Oh, wait, we got what's up? So I'm going to actually bring you down, Sam. No, you don't need to. Thank you for coming. All right, let me start this presentation on Clubhouse. Hey, let me invite somebody up in Clubhouse and see. I want to make sure you guys can hear me, by the way, because last time I did this, I think there were people in Clubhouse, but they couldn't even hear. So I think people will leave when they can't hear you. So see, Sam, I'm sure you can hear me. Lisa, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you.
Beautiful. All right, good. Everything's working great. All right. Now, there's a link on the top. If you want to actually watch the presentation, you can click on that. You can, actually, if you did that, you would be in the presentation. If you want, you're welcome to. I think if you watch it, you got to go to my YouTube page. Sam, do me a favor, Sam, in the chat, drop the links for people to watch it if they just want to watch it on YouTube or X. just drop the links so that they can watch it there. And if they want to get in the actual conversation, click on that link on the top. I'm happy to bring you in. I'm happy to answer questions, get you on the live feed. We're streaming live right now on Twitter. We're streaming live on Clubhouse. We're streaming live on Facebook, and we're streaming live on YouTube. And so if anybody wants to get in that conversation, just click on that link and join us. And if you just want to watch it, like, you can listen here on Clubhouse, that's cool. You're welcome to do that. But if you want to actually watch it, you can do that on our YouTube channel or our X channel as well. So let me start this. Hey, looks like Chrissy Goodwin just popped in. So that's cool. Chrissy Goodwin. Let me know, Chrissy, if you want to jump into the conversation. You're welcome to. We'll get you even in the conversation. So let me go to my slides right now, though. Go to my screen here. All right. I think last time we were having the same challenge. Let me just get my screen set up here for you guys. Let's see. Is it this one? Yeah, right here. All right, cool. So you should see this says 5 seller listing strategies, which is what we're talking about today. And so I start every presentation with this quote from Zig Ziglar, who says, if you help enough people get what they want, then you end up with whatever it is that you want. I love those words. I just believe there's a lot of truth in that. And for me, real estate has always been about helping people and about solving problems. And so that's what I believe. And so I always like to start there. A little bit about me, 36 years now in outbound sales. If you're watching, you can see the slides. And I spent 19 years in the real estate space. My last 2.5 years, I've been consulting, training, coaching. And now I'm going back into the real estate space. I am actually in the process of getting my brokerage, my own brokerage this time, and I'm getting it incorporated with the state. So in Massachusetts, that is a lot more of a process than I expected. It's actually taken me about an extra 3 weeks now. So that's really been my only holdup, to be honest with you, is just the brokerage. But in the meantime, we have 3 people that are listing properties with us, and we're actually using my wife right now to help with some of that. And hopefully I'll have my brokerage stuff resolved in the next week or so, and then we can start putting some listings under my brokerage, which is going to be called BTC Realty Group. So excited about that. And just excited. Good stuff coming, my friends. A little bit about me, father of 3 amazing daughters, husband, Christian follower, very involved in my church and in my faith. So I think that's really, really important. I truly, again, go back to that. What I said earlier is when you help enough people get what they want, you will end up with whatever it is that you want. And so there's my amazing family. If you're watching on video, you see my wife V, and there's 2 of my daughters. There's all 3 of my daughters. I'm sorry, 2 of my. And that picture's a few years old, though. We probably need to update it. That picture's probably about 4 years old, maybe 4 to 5 years old. So we will get that updated. But my daughters are just as beautiful, just a little bit more grown up now. So how I started in real estate, I joined a team called the Steve Clements team. And the first day in the office, he had us bring index cards and he gave us scripts. And the reason that we brought those index cards in was because we were going to go through all the local newspapers and we were going to call the for sale by owner ads. And we were going to cut out the little ads. I don't know if anybody, you guys can relate to newspapers back in the day. That's where we started. We would cut out the ads and we would tape them to the top left corner of the index card. And that was our system back then. That was the system we used for tracking leads and following up. And that was before I knew about systems like Vulcan 7 and Espresso Agent and tools like that. But that's what we did. And it was effective and it worked to an extent. And then he gave us scripts and we practiced our scripts and we started making calls, and I remember it was super uncomfortable in the beginning, but I made my calls. I kept making calls and I was able to make so many calls that I took 7 listings my first month in the real estate business. 7 listings. I know that sounds phenomenal. It is phenomenal. I'll be honest with you. Out of the 7, only 3 of them sold, but I learned a lot of lessons and I took 3 listings that sold in my first month in the business, and within 90 days, I had 3 closings. I know a lot of people tell you, hey, you go into real estate and you need to wait 6 months before you make money. I do not come from that school. I am in the school as if you take listings right away, there's no reason you shouldn't be making money in your first 90 days in the real estate business. And that's what we teach agents to do. So I went from Steve's index cards and Steve's bad scripts. I still remember one of his top scripts was, when are you going to hire the right agent for the job to sell your home? And a lot of people hung up on me. Some people talked to me. And then, after I realized that script wasn't working great, I changed it up a little bit and started asking just not the greatest questions, but they were authentic questions. And people met with me and people trusted me enough to list with me. And I still do it today. And I'm back in the game now, making calls, taking listings, and it's fun. I spent my morning this morning on the phone with a seller. There's 3 brothers. They have a property, an estate with multiple pieces of land, and I'm getting that listing. And I spent the morning, an hour on the phone with the 3 brothers, going through the contracts, and that was an expired listing. Literally comes from an expired listing. So back in the game, loving it. And I'm not using bad scripts anymore, and I'm not using index cards. So we've come a long way. We have systems. We have Vulcan 7. We have Espresso Agent. By the way, if anybody's interested in checking out those tools, Sam will drop a link in the chat for you guys. You can go to vulcan7.com/path to mastery, or you can go to espressoagent.com/path to mastery. And that's how you can get access to the for sale by owners, the expireds, all that good stuff that's going to make your life a lot easier if you decide to pursue those types of sellers. But I'll tell you what, today we're talking about 5 types of listings, and only 2 of them are for sale by owners and expireds. And the other ones are going to be a different source of that anybody, I don't care, even if you don't like making cold calls, which I know a lot of you don't like making cold calls, you can still go out there and take listings if you follow what I'm going to teach today. All right. I also want to let you know we have a workshop coming up in June 10th and 11th. It is called Listing Systems Live. You can go to the website listingsystems.net, listingsystems.net, if you want to get some information on that course. And right now there's a code. If you go in and you use the code 400 off, that code is only for the people in this webinar. It's 400 off. You can take the price of the workshop, which is $997. It'll bring the price down to $597 for you, and you can join us in this 2-day workshop. And I'll tell you what, I'm taking everything that I used to teach for Keller Williams. I used to teach their curriculum from the 2012 until I left Keller. I used to teach, go around the country. They used to pay me. There's not a lot of agents were able to do that. There were only 125 of us that were faculty like that. They used to go around and teach the curriculum, and then the same stuff that I've been teaching for the last 2.5 years with using Cardone University sales workshops for general sales training. I'm combining the 2, and we're putting together the listing systems live. So again, you guys can take advantage of that. I'll get you more information on that at the end of the live training today. All right. So the first place I want to start is taking listings. Well, before I do that, let's go. If you could let us know where you're coming in from, feel free in the chat. Okay. I see we got a bunch of people online. Drop in the chat where you're coming in from. If you let us know what area you're coming in from in the comments, if you could, love to know kind of where you're coming from. I see we got Boston in the house. We got Philippines in the house. We got Florida. All right. So listings is all about, ready? Listings is all about you. That's where I love to start. It all starts with you. I just got done having lunch with a mortgage partner, a mortgage person. And, I'm trying to explain to him that the industry itself is changing. And his philosophy is still, well, I don't really work with listing agents. I'm really looking for buyer's agents. I'm like, that's great. However, as the industry changed, I would just challenge you to start thinking about maybe connecting with the right listing agents, because what's going to happen is a lot of buyers now going forward are just going to start going directly to the listing. So I don't know, again, I could be wrong. I don't know, but I'm just telling you, it's going to get challenging for buyers agents out there. Okay. Don't worry. Yeah. 100%. There's going to be some successful buyer's agents, but if you have a chance, if you have the opportunity to focus, you can focus on listings or you can focus on buyers. Personally, I would focus on listings. And it's what I've been doing since 2009 when we stopped working with buyers and focused on listings. And here's why, because when you take listings, the other agents have to go through you if they have a buyer. Some of the buyers are going to choose now to go directly to you because they're not going to want to pay the other agent. Okay. The other sellers and the other homeowners in the neighborhood see your sign and they say, oh, wow, they're selling houses in our neighborhood. You get to market the fact that you sold the house. You get to market the listing. Listings are the name of the game. That's the bottom line. Listings are the name of the game. So it's about you getting your mind right first around, okay, I am going to take listings. Now, it doesn't matter where you are on your journey. You can see it. You could be starting out right at the bottom. Like, hey, I'm a brand newbie and I've never taken a listing before. You could be right in the middle where you've taken a couple listings and you're like, I want to take it to the next level. Or you could be like me, where you used to run a team and your team took 10 to 20, 26 was our best month, 26 listings every month, right? No matter where you are, there's going to be something in here that's going to help you move forward. So that's what we're talking about today. But again, it starts with you. But in order for you to be successful, there's a word that starts with a C, and it's confidence. You need to have confidence. Now, some of you are like, well, David, how do I get confidence? That's a great question. How do you get confidence? Is you get confidence by practicing. You get confidence by knowing your market. You get confidence by being around other people that are doing what you want to do. You get confidence by doing the proper training, getting the right training. Okay, understanding what sellers want, asking the right questions. And then you get confidence by results. Right now, if you don't have the results yet, then what you need to do is you need to get around people that have the results. You need to take the right courses. You need to take the right training. Right? Everybody's going to be rolling out training soon. Don't trust me. Find out. It's like when someone asks you to take their training, ask them how many listings they've taken in the past. Ask them, say, how many listings have you personally taken? And then make a decision whether you're going to take their training or not. And then ask them, when's the last time you took a listing, by the way? Because somebody said that to me about 3 months ago. Someone's like, well, I know you used to do a ton of business. I know you were a top producer. When's the last time you took a listing? I said, I don't know. It's probably been a year. So you know what they did is they motivated me to go out there and start making calls again. And then I went out and I took 3 listings. Why? Because I am able to have authentic conversations with people. That's why. I don't use tactics. I don't use pattern interrupts. I don't use NLP. Sorry if that's what you guys use. I use authentic questions and authentic conversations. And I understand the follow-up process, and I will follow up with people until they're ready to do business. Okay, that's it. This is not complicated rocket science stuff. So, how do you get sold on yourself? Number one, knowledge. You got to have the knowledge. Okay, you want to be sold on you, meaning, okay, I know what I'm doing. I've gone out there. I've got what I need. Also, your company. You need to be sold on your company. Right? You need to believe in your company. You need to have the right product offerings. This is very, very, very important right now. If you think you're just going to show up and you're going to tell the seller, yeah, we charge 5% or 6%, which is, I'm not telling you to do that. I'm just saying that's what people said in the past. It's not going to work. You need to have more tools than that. You need to have more products. You need to have a good, compelling offer. You understand what I'm saying? You have to have an offer that makes sense to people. When you give an offer to somebody, people say, okay, yeah, I want to learn more about that. I could use that. That will help me. You need to have some experience. Now, if you don't have the experience, use somebody else's experience. Use my experience. Jump into our course we have coming up in June. Use, maybe you have a broker that has a lot of experience with listings. I don't know, but you got to find some experience. If you don't have it, you need to use someone else's. When I first got my license, I joined a team and people said, well, how many homes have you sold? And I said, well, the team I'm on, They sold a lot of homes. And so I used that experience. And then you're going to get out there and you're going to get more experience as you're doing things like touring houses and doing market analysis, is meeting with people, et cetera, et cetera. And then you got to get sold on your skill set. You have to have skills. And how do you have skills? You have skills from practice. And nothing beats practice. Okay. If you looked at a professional football team, they have 16 games during their season, which is about 6 months, meaning that they're 3 hours a week. They're actually in the game. The other, 80 plus hours a week, they are practicing for the 3 hours that they're in the game. Critically important. Work on those skills. Again, I'm going to bring you right back to what I said earlier. If you want to do this, you need to find somebody that's done what you want to do and partner with them and figure out how they can help you. Can I pay you? Can I shadow you? Can I buy your course? Whatever it is, it's what you need to do. All right. There's 6 types of listings we're going to talk about today quickly. There's for sale by owners. There's expired listings. By the way, this is being streamed live. If you're on our YouTube channel or you're on X or you're on Facebook, you can jump in live. Okay, we're going to talk about sphere of influence, circle calls, allied resources, and then for rent by owner. Those are the things we're going to touch today. Everything that I talk about today has to do with certainty. My goal is to have you show up with certainty, meaning when you show up to meet with a seller, you are confident. You have certainty in what you do and also how it solves their problem. The challenge with a lot of real estate agents, they don't even know the real problem. Like a seller says, I'm moving to Florida, and they just say, oh, wow, Florida's really nice, warm weather. Yeah, you're older, warm weather, that makes sense. But we really don't know what's really going on most times. So we have to create certainty. And the more you know, the more confident you are, the more training, the better questions you ask, the better process you have, the better system, the better you follow up, the more certainty you're going to have. The more listings you take, the more certainty you're going to have. All right. How do you get certainty? From practice. I said that earlier. That's Michael Phelps. If you're watching us stream, Michael Phelps right there. Some of you may know his story. Michael Phelps, all the other swimmers would practice 6 days a week. Michael Phelps would practice 7 days a week. He would get to the pool an hour before everybody. He would leave an hour after everybody. He would practice on Sundays where other swimmers would take the day off. That's why he's Michael Phelps. You should be doing the same thing. Same thing. All right. Communication. Work on your communication skills. Can't say enough about this. I've gotten so many listings over my career, and I've closed so many sales just because of my communication. People, I don't try to manipulate people. I mean, yeah, listen, I'm a closer. Like, yeah, sometimes I'm going to close you. I'm going to ask you to do the deal. I'll ask you 5 times. I'm not going to try to pattern interrupt you. I'm not going to try to NLP you and say weird things that make you feel weird and make me feel weird and sound weird. No, I'm going to be authentic. I'm going to tell you why I believe what we do is going to help you. I'm going to give you examples. I'm going to show you past clients. I'm going to share different case studies. I'm going to communicate with you in a way that makes sense. That's what's missing nowadays. There's a lot of trust. People have trust issues now, unfortunately, all over the place. So, but when someone shows up and they're authentic and they communicate the right way, people appreciate that. And so this process isn't complicated. Here's 5 types of objections. By the way, if you want to join us on the if you want to watch the live stream, live on YouTube is David I. Hill. YouTube, yeah, just go to YouTube, David I. Hill. Also my Twitter, same thing, David I. Hill. If you're interested in watching it on Twitter, David I. Hill. So these are the 5 types of objections. Every objection you're going to get is going to fall into one of these 5 categories, guaranteed. every objection. Earlier, I said I'm teaching a workshop in June. It's going to be a combination of the Win with Sellers course I used to teach for Keller Williams, in a combination of that, along with the Cardone University Sales Essentials Workshop, which is what I taught for them. It's not their workshop. It's not Keller Williams' workshop. It's the combination of what I've learned over 36 years and what I've incorporated from being instructors for both of those companies. I'm teaching that as a listing specialist. Like, this is a listings focused workshop. It's called Listing Systems Live. You can go check that out right now. www.listingsystemslive. I'm sorry. It's called Listing Systems Live, but the domain is actually www.listingsystems.net. Listingsystems.net. By the way, if anybody wants to come up on the stage in Clubhouse, you're welcome to come up, raise your hand. I am going to open it up for questions in a little bit. Questions, comments. We'll keep this conversation going. All right. So those are your 5 types of objections: product, money, stall, time, unspoken. I promise you, any objection you get is going to fall within one of those 5. And when you know how to handle those 5, you will be more effective with your communication. Okay, there's 5 steps to handling an objection. Here they are right here. Not complicated. Does not say NLP on any of those. It does not say pattern interrupt. Does it? No. It says listen, acknowledge, isolate, validate, and then determine the type of objection you're dealing with. Which one of those 5 is it? Again, listen. What is listening? Listening is listening. Like, tell me more. Help me understand that. Asking deeper questions. It's active listening. It's acknowledging what they said, repeating words back to people, using ums, ahs, letting them know you're paying attention. Okay, listening, acknowledging. Yeah, I get it. I'm with you. I understand that. Okay, that makes sense to me. I can see how you feel that way. The next one, isolate. So other than my commission is higher than you want to pay, is there any other reason you wouldn't put me to work today? I get it. Someone else told you they do it for less. Other than that, is there anything else in the way? No? Okay, great. So now we need to validate. That's the only thing. So if I can solve that problem, if I can solve the issue of our fee being higher than the other person, you're ready to move forward. Bang. Like that, like, this is not complicated. You didn't hear me do any pattern interrupts there, any NLP, any of that stuff, did you? You heard questions, real authenticity. That's it. That's why I say this is not complicated stuff. There's nothing complicated, right? Look at the next slide. This is what it says. Learn to ask questions and listen. That's it. Learn to ask questions and listen. I'm not teaching you guys anything super complicated. Just learn to ask great questions. Listen. Makes all the difference in the world. Then you got to know how to close. So, right, closing, the only logical step should be to close. Anybody besides me, back in my rookie days, I've gone through I used to sell advertising before real estate. And I remember, not knowing how to close. I met with some people, and at the end, I wasn't really sure how to close. So I kind of went through my presentation and I was like, okay, yeah, what do you think? They were like, yeah, that sounds good. Okay, great. We'll get back to you. And I'm like, okay. And I left. Like, you should have a question where the only next logical step is for them to say yes. Meaning, this is what this means. It means I've provided so much good information. I've delivered so much value that it wouldn't make sense for them to go in any other direction besides you. That means it's the next logical step. Like, have you seen enough information or heard enough information to make a decision? And if they say yes, then great, you're moving forward. If they say no, then you go back to asking questions. Again, not complicated. Here's some best practices. Best practices. Schedule the next connection right away. Meaning, you had a conversation with somebody. Maybe it didn't go the way you hoped. Like, even the people I listed, the 3 sellers I met with this morning, I've been talking to these guys for 3 weeks. This is an expired listing I've been speaking with for 3 weeks, y'all. And like one of his brothers is like, I just love your tenacity. Like that's why we're talking to you. Like, because I'm not giving up. You see, like, it's scheduling the next follow up. This is not like I don't have to think. Okay, you know what? I just had a call with Alyssa, and geez, I wonder when I call her again. No, I have a CRM that I use. I log in and I have a conversation with her, and then I make my notes, and then I schedule the next follow up call. So then 2 weeks later, when I log into my system, it says call Derek or call Lucy or call Rose or call Elizabeth or call Christine or right because it's in my system, in my CRM. We also use a combination of email, SMS, video, phone, as well as hard mail sometimes. We use a combination. It's not just one thing. It's not just all phones. It's not just all SMS. I know too many real estate agents, too many salespeople rely on SMS. We use video. We use audio message. I use audio messages. I call. I mean, we do a combination of everything. 5 to 12. This is an important number. Write this down. 5 to 12. Plan 5 to 12 contacts. 5 to 12 times. That's how many times it should take. If it, like somebody said to me last week, one of my clients, man, this guy's a waste of time. I said, how many times do you reach out to him? He said 3. I said, well, then, get to 12, then tell me it's a waste of time. Let's get to 12 first. Because I've had people, not exaggerating. I had a guy that told me, okay, this was a for sale by owner. He said, you can remove me from your list. I will never use a real estate agent. And 6 months later, he listed with me. Why? Because situations change, people change. Maybe he was frustrated in the moment. Okay, so always remember that 5 to 12. Don't take it personal. And then always go into any connection with an intention. Meaning, if I'm going to connect with somebody, I have an intention behind it. There's nothing random happening with me, right? Why am I doing this webinar? I'll tell you why I'm doing this webinar, because I have a workshop coming up on June 10th and 11th. I don't want to just do free webinars or free workshops online for people. I have a workshop coming up. So I know if I show up here, I provide some great information for you guys. You get a little bit of a spotlight. Imagine spending a day and a half on the sales process and then leaving with all the scripts, all the blueprints for the different offers that I'm talking about, a listing presentation, all that stuff, clarity, what to say, how to say it, when to say it. That's what we're talking about. So yeah, there's an intention, right? Yeah, some people don't like that. I don't want to be sold anything. You don't have to be sold anything. You don't have to buy anything. Nobody cares. It's not about that. It's about providing value. If you're a salesperson and you're worried about buying things or not being sold, that's affecting you, your customers. We all get back exactly what we put out there. You should be buying things. If you're a salesperson, you should want to buy things. You should be investing. You know what? I do everything that comes in. 10% goes to my church right away. 10%. We had a check yesterday come in, $5,000, 10% right out the door. Sunday, check, $1,000 came in over the weekend. Check right out the door, $100 to the church. Why? Because I'm investing. I can invest. There's an abundance out there. There's not a level. It's not scarcity. It's abundance. Because now when I ask other people to invest, I'm the type of person that invests. So I can authentically ask other people to invest. So one of the biggest questions I get asked is, hey, I am curious to understand how I can work with you, or how do I learn more about this? So there's a couple ways. One obviously is the workshop we have coming up on June 10th and 11th. So, you can go to www. Sam, can you drop that in the chat for us, please? It's listing systems.net. Okay. Or it's listing systems. Yeah. Listingsystems.net. And then the other way is we have a community. We have a community where we have real estate agents that are getting together and supporting each other. And like literally, I'm on, they're on 4 days a week. I'm on with them 2 days a week personally, where I train and we do scripts, we do role play. So a couple different ways we can help you. I would encourage you to seriously take the, take the workshop, because I've never done a workshop like this before. It's the first time I'm taking those two, and I'm going to combine it. But I did promise you I would save some time. By the way, here's a QR code if you do want to take the workshop. It's listingsystems.net, and you can scan that QR code right now. There's a code. Use the code 400 off. It'll take the price from $997 down to $597. That is a code for the webinar only. So you can take $400 off the price. You can get a day and a half of training. Plus, we're going to throw in an additional 2 group coaching calls for only $597. It's a ridiculous offer. If I wasn't teaching it, I would personally be buying it all day. So take advantage of that. Listingsystems.net. All right, let me stop sharing for a minute, and I want to see if anybody has any questions. If you do have a question, raise your hand. If you're on the live stream, I'm happy to invite you up. Just turn your video on. If I see you turn your video on the live stream, I'll bring you up, bring you into the conversation. I see Noye just popped into the room. Good to see you on Clubhouse as well. I know this guy's he needs to do a little more investing in himself, but he's out there doing good things. I know him. But yeah, welcome to jump in if you want. Come up, click on that link. We'll bring you into the conversation. Let me stop sharing my screen here. Oh, here we go. Perfect. All right. So let's see. Who has a question? Anybody, if you're on Clubhouse, you can ask a question, or if you're on one of our socials, it looks like we have about 20 people watching live here. So feel free. Feel free to, yeah, Christy Goodwin, thank you. Nice to see you as well. I know, Christy, you did let me invite you up. I don't know, you did some work with us recently. I'd love to hear your thoughts on any takeaways, or even from this workshop today. I don't know if you're available to talk. How's it going?
No, yeah, it's good. I'm good, thanks, David.
See you.
So
Thanks for
apologies, my camera's not on. I'm not camera ready at the moment, but
That's all right.
no, I did get a lot out of the 10-day challenge that I did.
Yeah, you showed up every day. You were one of maybe a half a dozen people that actually showed up every single day.
I
That's
did. I
awesome.
did. Yeah, I mean, that was super important for me to commit myself to the challenge and to get the most out of it. One of the benefits was, well, not completely removing call reluctance, but giving me more confidence, as you mentioned. Confidence is really going to help anyone when they pick up the phone. The scripts were helpful, and I'm still working on internalizing those, and having those off the cuff responses to objections and to move the call forward. So I did get a lot out of it. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Good. Well, I'm glad to hear that. What any questions you have for me, or any you want to role play something, maybe challenge me a little bit? I mean, I
You
love
know
stuff
what?
like that.
Actually, no, I'm going to hop off for another call, but I do want to say that I work for a large national brokerage, and I benefited. This is training that my brokerage doesn't offer. So because you're with a franchise, and even if you have a broker who does mentor you, it's always good to get extra training, I think. So
Well, thanks for saying that. And I think it's specific training too,
mhm.
Christy. It's like, I know there's some. I was a trainer for Keller Williams. Keller has some great training. I was a trainer for EXP. They have some great training, but I mean, this is listing specific training, right? So it's just, I mean, it's yeah, you just know your trainer. Like, has your trainer actually gone out there and taken hundreds or thousands of listings? In my case, right? Know that. Is it stuff that's working right now? Like, know that, right? Is it just something like, because sometimes, these companies have great training, but the trainers are just an agent that is using a manual but he's never actually even done it. So just know your trainer. That's all. But I do appreciate you saying that. Thank you. Always good to see you. All right. Anybody else? I'd love to get you. If anybody else wants to come up, well, I'm going to remove you, Christy. Thank you for hanging out with us. We got some people on Clubhouse. Hey, I'd love to invite my guy Noye up. I think I might have said his name right. Finally, he always gives me a hard time about not saying his name right. But what's going on, man?
Nothing much. Can you hear me?
Oh
Okay.
man, your connection is just not very good, man. It's kind of a mess. But let's see. Try again.
Let me turn my Bluetooth off real quick.
Cool. And then Alyssa, I appreciate you been up here the whole time. How you have any questions or?
Okay, I think I'm back. Can you hear me now?
Ah, that's much better, man. How's it going?
Going good. No, well, Bold is this week. Speaking of training for KW, and yeah, they do. You're right. You mentioned something about
I
the
taught
training.
Bold, right? I was one of the Bold coaches.
I think I've
You
heard that
probably
once or
didn't know
twice
that.
over the
Yeah,
years.
I
No, you've
did
mentioned
that
it.
for about a year and a half, and so I got to hang out with those guys. Those guys are awesome. Bold's great, by the way. Great course.
Yeah,
Great
well,
course.
they've got like you said, the training. When they have those guys, I don't know how they vet the teacher or whatever,
Well,
but
I'll tell you what. In order to teach for Keller at that level, it might have changed, but when I was at Keller, you had to have closed at minimum of 75 transactions the year before, minimum. So I would imagine that probably hasn't, if anything's gone up, right? So that means, if somebody's closing 75 transactions, they know what they're doing, Noye, right?
yeah, no, I agree. And I think that on that level, because basically for the rest of the year, what you should do, you should basically incorporate that into your business, right? And you should continue to just kind of like ride that. If you could do that, my managing broker always, or the principal, the owner guy, he always, he's like, hey, if you do this, you just keep with this path. But as we know, sometimes we don't stick to it and all that stuff like that. But all the other trainings are.
When you say do it, we do what? You mean like incorporate the Bold stuff? You mean like
yes,
but that's fundamental. Just you should be making calls every day. You should be talking to people. The nice thing about Bold is it comes in for 8 weeks and gives you the accountability every day, right? So essentially, it's just giving you a coach, which we should all have coaches. That's really what Bold does. It just gives you a coach and you focus on a different strategy every week for 8 weeks.
Right. No, and that's true. And most of us, I mean, the vast majority, you've been in real estate. How long you been in real estate?
2000,
like 20 years?
2001, I got my license. So I left for a year and a half, but now I'm back. So
yeah. So the training part, but they tell you there's a page in the Bold book where they're like once a month, it's like, plan out your next 12 months of training, right? Because just like, you're a professional and there's always something to learn, right? Especially if you're a newer agent, right? So these trainings, actually, when he said that, I've done like your class. I did Aaron Winstein's class for FISBOs and expireds. And I'm like, yeah. So David, you're probably one of your next trainings out. I'm going to implement one of the Bold things I learned. It's like, yeah, I'm going to put some more stuff on my calendar so I can continue learning.
Well, June 10th and 11th, my man, we got something. I'm actually teaching. June is speaking of. It's I was one of 125. You can go do your research if you want. Fact find on this, but I was one of the Keller Williams faculty trainers. There was 125 of us that used to go around the country and deliver Wynwood Sellers, which was Keller Williams course. I'm not sure if that's still the course, but so what I'm doing is I'm taking the Wynwood Sellers, which I'm not delivering that specific course, but I still obviously have all the manuals and everything. I have the course, but I'm creating my own version of, it's going to be using that awesome content with Grant Cardone's Sales Essentials Workshop. And I'm kind of marrying them together and making the Frankenstein version of that called Listing Systems Live. And so I'm building that out, man, for June 10th and 11th. I'm super excited about that.
That sounds good, man. And you've been in this ever since I've known you. You're like a big like training guy. And I'm not gonna lie, David, I'm gonna be honest with you. Wait, to touch on that thing you just said about researching you, I can't research you. Your name is David Hill. There's an outfielder for the Brave named David Hill. I'm pretty sure somebody got locked up for in prison for 20 years. David Hill's
That's
too
not
general.
me.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
Just go back, man.
Like,
go to Zillow. I mean, if you want, you can see my reviews on Zillow.
There's probably 60 agents named David Hill.
But aren't you at Keller Williams? You're at Keller, right?
I'm still here.
There you go. Good. So go talk to some team leaders. Go ask Jason Abrams if he knows. You know who Jason Abrams is, right? Ask Jason.
Never heard of him.
How could you have never heard of Jason
Who's
Abrams?
Jason Abrams?
He's two guys underneath Gary Keller, man. Jason Abrams.
Never heard of him.
You are.
No, I'm just kidding. No, he's always at the reunion. Of course. Everybody knows Jason.
Yeah, Jason flew me out to Austin. Okay, because I was like, a lot of people don't know this, but before COVID, I was making. I swear, this is like, again, this is a fact. I was cold calling independent brokerages for Gary Keller personally. Like, they had me cold calling, and this is Jason Abrams set this up. I would call the brokerage just same way I call FSBOs. I would call a brokerage and just say, hey, I don't remember my exact script, but it would be like, hey, I'm with Keller Williams. Just kind of curious to know if you've ever thought about, partnering with Keller, what that would look like. And most of them say, no, I have zero interest. But then what do? You keep the conversation going. And literally, there's brokerages in Austin and other parts of the country that have joined Keller Williams because of a cold call they got from me. And then once COVID came, which stopped that, and just a lot of other things happened in life, and here we are, 6 years later, and things are different now.
It's funny you mentioned that, because during Bold, this is my first time taking it, and so because last year we didn't have enough people, and the year before that I didn't do it, but so we do journal, and then it's like, oh, go listen to Gary Keller's podcast, right? So I was like, okay. When I listen to a podcast, if it's new, I always go back to the beginning, because I feel like the material that's given to you, like even with the artists, like the best albums are like the first two. So I went all the way to the beginning, because I think
I don't know if I agree with that, man.
100%. Whatever your favorite.
Don't listen to my first podcast, bro. That's good. It's ugly, man.
Well, then yeah. So the story, because most people want to tell like that. They're basically most compelling stories. So he goes through the process of how, he grew the brokerage and everything like that. Probably on episode 2 or 3, he talks, because so he was doing that, what you're talking about. So he went from Austin to San Antonio, and then he was going out. And so he was flying people. He used to fly out. And then he said, he wanted to spend more time with his son. So he would have people fly in, or he'd call, like what you're talking about. And then he'd say, they'd be like, he said, well, you know what? Listen, how about you just come out here? I'll fly you in, And he's like, I did it that way because and he said, I paid for your ticket. He said, I had to fly out there anyway. So paying for their ticket really didn't cost me anything at home at the end of the night.
Yeah, he's smart. That's brilliant.
I thought it was so smart. He said, at this time, his kid was in elementary school. So he'd pick him up from the airport, and then he'd go to the elementary school, and they're like, oh, what are my son? And he and then a couple of the people that he hosted were super offended, but he's like, he knew that if they were offended by that they weren't a good fit for his brokerage. So it's very hard to grow a brokerage. I just thought I'd tell that story.
Cool, man. Well, I appreciate it. And yeah, I was in Connecticut. I was in Glastonbury, Connecticut for 2 years, and we ran the Glastonbury, West Hartford, and gosh, what was that other office way out there? Wallingford offices. And that was a fun experience. And that's how I got connected with Jason, because those guys were like, how did you recruit 200 agents in a year with cold calling? And so, which led me to the opportunity with Gary. And who knows, if it wasn't for COVID, I may still be at Keller Williams right now, to be honest with you. But things happen, and everything happens for a reason. But anyway, I don't want to, we went down memory lane a little bit on that. I want to let people know, though, we do on June 10th and 11th. I have this workshop coming up, and it's the Listing Systems Live. You can just go to listingsystems.net. This is a combination of my 36 years of outbound sales experience. also using a lot of the stuff I learned and taught with Keller Williams Women Sellers, plus the Cardone curriculum. We're kind of merging it all together, and we're putting together a day and a half focused workshop on how to get out there and take listings. So hopefully you guys will join us. Right now, I created an offer for $400 off. If you use the code 400 off, you can get, instead of paying $997, you'll pay $597. And I'm throwing in the additional 2 coaching calls. So that's the cool offer we got for today. Appreciate you guys being here. I don't know if Noya, you got any questions or anything else you want to ask? All right. Well, this, I guess the sound.
Ring.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. What?
Ring.
Hello?
Hey, is this hello?
Yeah. Oh gosh. So we're gonna do. Well, I didn't ask if you want to role play, but yeah, let's hear it.
Hello? Hello?
Yeah. What can we do for you? What can I get you information on?
Hey, really quickly, yeah, are you the owner of 123 Banana Street?
I am.
Oh, okay. Hey, listen, I just saw your listing here this weekend. You guys, it looks like the house has been up for like 4 or 5 days. You guys get any offers on that property?
Not yet. No.
Really? That's interesting. What? So you've no calls, nobody scheduling showings or anything like that?
Why is it interesting?
Well, actually, we listed a house down in that neighborhood. It never lasts more than a day. I'm calling because I was hoping that that would still be on the market. I'm actually kind of shocked. Nobody called this weekend.
No, we're not getting any calls, but we are getting a lot of realtors calling us.
Yeah, no, they do that from time to time. Look, and I don't want to waste your time. Why did you list with a realtor? Just out of curiosity.
Why didn't I list with a realtor? Because I'm selling it myself.
You're selling it yourself. Okay. Well, listen, I'd love to come over there and take a look at the property. I saw the pictures online, but I got a couple questions. We got a couple buyers that are looking, but I'm not exactly sure if your property fits their criteria. Could I come over there tomorrow, maybe 2 o'clock, and just walk the property myself?
I mean, if you have a buyer, sure, no problem at all. You're welcome to come by.
You know, it's funny that you mentioned that about a buyer. I actually specialize with listing and helping people get the most money for their property. I actually don't want to bring clients. I'm not saying you, but all of my clients, we don't bring just one buyer. We like to bring multiple buyers, and that's how we get the highest and best offer. I really think you guys will benefit from our 21-point listing package. We could get multiple buyers.
We're not interested in listing with any agents. If we are, we have somebody already that we've picked out.
Oh yeah. What's their name? What brokerage do they work for?
Why do we have to tell you that?
No, that's a good question. You're right. I know a lot of agents, and I just wanted to make sure that you're getting the right help out there, because people promise a lot and they don't deliver. But yeah, 2 o'clock tomorrow. Does that sound good for you?
Well, again, if you're coming by with a buyer, you're welcome to. Otherwise, don't waste your time or my time. I'm not going to be signing with anything. So if you have a buyer, yeah, by all means, they're pre-approved. You have a letter in hand, sure. You're welcome to come by.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, 2 o'clock tomorrow, I'll see you there. And my name is Noe Dow. I'm sorry I didn't introduce myself at the beginning of the conversation.
All right, cool. You bringing your buyer tomorrow?
Negative. No, we work with multiple buyers. So what I'm going to do is get a better look at their property and send it out to them. But again, we just got to make sure that it fits the criteria, because you don't have a listing agent. There's a lot of things that gets left out sometimes. So, we come over to the property. Before I send it over to them, I like to get eyes on the property. That's just kind of how I do business with my clients, if that makes sense.
I mean, I guess so. If you want to stop by, I'm happy to show it to realtors. No problem.
All right. Okay. I'll see you tomorrow, 2 o'clock. Okay.
Sounds good. Thanks.
All right.
All right, cool.
So, I couldn't pivot there.
So what are you going to do at the appointment besides look at the house? The problem is now, Noye, if you go over there and you try to solicit a listing, the person's going to get pissed.
Right.
So why not just approach it like, hey, here's what I do. Are you open to hiring a listing agent? No? Okay, great. I would love to be plan B. When do you think you'd even consider that? I'm not doing anything for 3 months. Okay, great. No problem at all. Like this is what I'm talking about, is just being authentic with people. You don't, like, you're using Aaron, you're essentially using what Aaron does. Oh my gosh, how did that home not sell? Right? Like, who cares, man? Who cares why the home didn't sell yet? Call people and just say, hey, my name's David. Here, ring. I'll call you. Ring, ring.
Yeah. Hello.
Hello. Oh, hi, sir. My name's David Hill, local realtor. And hey, I'm calling you because you have a house for sale by owner right in my coverage area. Did I get you at a bad time?
Listen, we've already got a bunch of calls from realtors. We're not going to list. If you have a buyer, we're more than happy to, talk about that. Do you have a buyer?
Yeah, I appreciate that. I work primarily with sellers. I work with a lot of for sale by owners throughout my career. I've helped them get the house sold for more money. So are you selling yourself because you're trying to get more money, or is there another reason?
Well, first, I think that realtors are overpaid.
Yeah.
You guys don't do anything, and we can do it just as good ourselves. So I appreciate the offer, but if you have a buyer,
I have to agree with you on that myself. I think there are a lot of realtors that are overpaid. And listen, I mean, again, for me, I work primarily with seller listings. So, and from my experience, most people selling homes themselves are selling it themselves because they're trying to put a certain amount of money in their pocket. Is that the same situation with you?
Absolutely.
Okay, good. So if I could actually show you a way that I could get you what you want in your pocket, even after by using me, would you at least be open to learning about that?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. Well, what would have to what would I have to say to get that from a maybe to a definitely?
Well, at this time, we have a number that we want to take home, and we're pretty confident on the price. I have a bunch of realtor friends.
Okay.
I pick their brain, and so we've done everything that we need to do. I don't think that you can get more than what we're going to get for this property. So I just don't see how that's going to work. But
well, I don't either, and the last thing I want to do is waste your time or my time. But I'm happy to come by, take a look at the house, and be honest with you. If I think I can get what you want, then I'll let you know. And if I think I can't, then I'll let you know that too. And there's no obligation, no strings attached. How does that sound?
Okay. No, that's fine.
Okay.
If
Beautiful.
you have a buyer though, you guys have a buyer, that'd be great.
Yeah. My wife V is a buyer's agent. So certainly, she may, but I personally do not, like I said. So, but, I'm happy to come look at the house. I'll give you the number. And if you think it makes sense, then we could talk about doing that. How's that?
Okay. Listen, before you come, listen, I noticed that you have a Boston accent. Who's the best quarterback of all time?
Definitely Tom Brady.
Well, you can't come to my house.
Oh no, why? Who is the best quarterback of all time?
Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, well, I like Patrick Mahomes. I'm not sure he's the best of all time yet, but I think he potentially could get there. I mean, if you have to. How do you determine the best of all time? There's only one real determining factor, correct?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
it's rings. It really does come down to Super Bowl wins at the end of the day. So anyway, but I appreciate you, man. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, man. Yeah.
All right, cool. So you see how we both kind of got the appointment, but my appointment is different than yours. I'm going over to look at the house for potentially telling you how I can sell it for more money and get you what you want, where you're going over to talk to them about a buyer that you don't have.
That makes sense.
So, bro, you got a lot of talent, man. You just got to get the right information. I've been telling you this for a long time. You have a lot of talent. You're willing to put in the work. You just need the right tools. That's it.
Oh no, I agree with you. Yeah, that's it. No, you're right. You're right. You know what? I just saw your buddy. I can't think of his name. The kid, young dude. He's got a big face. Looks like
young dude with big face.
Yeah, I just saw him do he did the impossible thing. It was on Instagram.
Young dude.
You probably don't know who I'm talking. He used to come on here. He's really good. We would do the script and role play. He's always driving around. He's really good. I think he's in California. Kid, he's a young guy. I don't know. He's probably like got to
Alfred?
be in his.
No.
No, that doesn't sound familiar.
Armando?
No. I say he's really good. I didn't say he's.
Oh,
I
got
didn't
it.
say he's obnoxious. No,
Yeah, Armando is
No,
obnoxious,
great.
definitely. I agree with that. But he makes the calls. He's aggressive. I like aggressive people too. Yeah, I don't know. I can't think of who you're talking about with the big head that drives around a lot.
No, he's not. He's not big. He's not. He has an interesting face. I can't think of his name. But his scripts are great. Like, he's really good. I remember the first time you two were doing it, I was like, wow, this guy's really good. I can't remember his name.
Bro,
I just know
forget about scripts, man. You gotta stop worrying about scripts. Just have authentic conversations with people, man. This is where I'm glad we're having this conversation, because this is where so many people get hung up on friggin' scripts. Like, who cares I've been using scripts 35 years, man. At the end of the day, it's not scripts. It's just having authentic conversations, listening to people, and right? Asking good questions, being okay, being okay with them saying no to you. Like this, I think that's the problem. If you go back and I know you jumped in near the end, but I started off with that, Noye, where, this is not like being good at this. I'm putting 3 properties on the market in the next week myself. I went right back out in 2 weeks, found 3 listings from expireds and FSBOs. And I'm not scripting anybody. I'm just calling and saying, hey, I'm a local guy. I've been doing this a while. How do I help you? Like, it doesn't have to be any more complicated than that. And then listen and ask questions. Everybody's so hung up on scripts and sounding fancy and this and that. It doesn't have to be that, man. Yeah, sometimes don't get me wrong. It's definitely good to know what you're talking about. But I don't think it's scripts anymore, man. I don't think it's scripts anymore. But listen, man, I appreciate you. Always fun to connect with you. And I'm going to, I'll reach out to you. I want to get you some information on our course as well. June 10 and 11. And for anybody else on here, listingsystems.net. Get to spend a day and a half with me, plus 2 additional coaching calls. Plus, we give you 30 days access to our university. So you get to hang out with the people that are like legit, like Norman took, I think, 3 listings last week. Jennifer listed another property yesterday. Like they're out there doing it. They're not just talking about it. And the idea, the other 20 people that are in there doing it, you get to spend a month with them, and it's all who we spend our time with. So, okay, appreciate you, man. Everybody else, thank you guys for hanging out here. Appreciate you guys investing some time. This was recorded. It will be live, and you all rock. By the way, before we wrap, don't forget to go to, and if you see this before June 10th, 2024, and you are a real estate agent, go to listingsystems.net. And if it's after June 10th, then just go to davidihill.com. That's how you find me. Peace.